I'm so unorganised because I haven't done a live for so long. But we are here at Rainbow Tea Rooms with my lovely friend Warren, who is chair of Chester Pride. Are you still chair?
For now, yeah.
For now,
yeah.
What's going on with that?
So I retire gracefully in October. So stepping down after 12 years of Pride, 13 years of Pride.
Is that how long Pride's been going now?
Yeah, since 2012. The first one was 2013. But yeah, I joined to help get a few acts on stage, and then I ended up running the show.
And you've done fabulous, haven't you?
Well, I think it's a team effort. We've gone from what it was outside the town hall to what we are now, which is huge now.
I remember the first one outside the town hall.
Still my favourite.
Yeah, that was
still my favourite one. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then now we are at
Castle Square now,
which is where the courts are.
Crown
for
Courts,
anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah.
And the date for Pride is the 17th of August.
17th
Did
of
you get
August.
that right?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's really funny because we've been doing so much press, and a few of the others have been saying, "Oh, yeah, it's the 19th." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's the 17th." And so it's been stuck in my head now. So every time someone asks the date, I'm like, "Is it the 17th? Or is it the 19th?"
Yeah, I wrote
I'm like, "It's definitely the 17th."
And this year, the acts, I was so excited. The countdown was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 days, and I was like, "Oh, come on, I want to know." And Shane Ward, Louise, the cheeky girls. Who else have we got?
Kim Maisel. So Kim is probably someone for people. I'm not going to say the older crowd because I am now in the 40s plus bracket.
Yeah, she's big in the house.
Yes, the house
game.
Music, but she covered a lot of things like Candy Statton's Young Hearts Run Free. Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. She's had some really big sort of hits that she's covered. So we've got Kim Maisel. So we've got Gloria Gaynor. We've got Kim Maisel, Bag of Chips from RuPaul's Drag Race there. Shagger's obviously there. We've got Sharon Wallace, another local act. Jan George, who are flying in from Sweden.
Wow.
We've got tributes to Elton John and Beyonce, which both of them are just the best. They are so good. I'm trying not to forget anyone now. Alex Party. I'm trying to go down this. Like Ella Grace, who we had last year, it's Sammy Brooks' daughter. She went on stage with Sammy to basically do a song, give us some exposure. She's part of the Hammond dance troupe, who we are working very hard with to try and get back this year as well. And she went on to do a little song, and I was just like, how has that come out of this little person?
I've seen it. I remember seeing it.
I just went to right, I'm booking you for next year there, and then thinking I'll probably get shot for doing this, but I don't care. So we booked her there, and then Dan Walker's back. DJ, we tried the DJ last year. It kind of worked, so we're going to do it again this year. So DJ at the beginning of the day. This year's lineup, it was hard for me because I had 3 options. I could have spent loads of money and gone, I don't care, it's not my problem next year. I could have not spent any money and gone, I don't care, it's not my problem. Or I could have stuck to the same budget I've had for the last 3 years and gone, right, somehow I'll make this work, and I don't know how. But we have, and this has been the hardest year for the acts because I wanted it to be a good lineup. Obviously, it's my last one.
I think it always is, though.
Every year we try our best and we work within a budget. And I sometimes look at the lineup and think we didn't get it right this year, and it still goes down well, and people still are very receptive. And obviously, as the years have gone by, we've been a free event, and I've kind of always had that sort of not the argument, but the saying of, it's a free event, there's not a lot of money coming in, so we have to be grateful for what we can get. As we move to a ticketed event, which again, we never wanted to do this, but we had no choice. Costs have got up. I mean, artist costs this year are ridiculous. I mean, there's acts that we were looking at 3 years ago, 15 grand, and now 45 grand.
Wow.
And this is standard across the board. And this is a COVID case. Because COVID came, obviously we came out COVID and we went, we need to do, social things. All these events popped up overnight. And everyone, well, I'll book you. And these agents were then going, and the acts. And it's supply and demand, and you can't blame them for doing this. They've got to do it. They put the prices up because they thought that's what they were worth. And then when all these events actually went, there's no money in events, it's actually harder than we thought it was, and they all fell. The ones of us that survived then had to pick up the pieces and go, right, so an act I was paying 6 grand for 2 years ago, you now want 10 grand. That's a 4 grand increase.
Massive, yeah.
And for an event that doesn't have, if it's a charity event like ours that doesn't charge, it's near impossible. And you can kind of see that with all the lineups this year. even the big prides this year have really pulled back on what they're doing. Brighton Prize lineup this year is fantastic. It's a great lineup. But I look at it and think, even Brighton clearly has had to pull its purse strings back because it's got to that point now where things are costing too much. And I don't want that to sound negative towards any pride I'm naming by name, because we're all in the same boat, and we've all kind of said it that, in the networks we have, this is getting harder and harder, and it's this for me was why I decided to leave. Was I got this sort of impression that there was not a lot. I mean, there was 12,000 people at Pride last year, and I can kind of name on my hand the people that are very negative towards Pride, and we'll throw out a few comments there that you do take to heart, especially when you think you're volunteering 40 hours a week minimum.
Yeah.
We don't get paid for this.
Because it is an amazing event.
So it does dishearten you when things are said like that. And I just got to that point where I thought, are people feeling that they should be, they're entitled to more? If that's the case, you need to help us more. And this is why we're sat in the Rainbow Tea Rooms today. I mean, we opened this as a revenue stream for Pride.
So this helps fund.
In theory, yes. I mean, obviously, it's only our second year. So the first year, you're never going to make, masses of money.
It's the birthday of the cafe
yesterday. Yeah, and I got the last chair spray painted. So I decided that it was looking a little bit tired. It's been 2 years. We've not really done anything to it. And I just said, look, it needs to have a bit of a rebirth. So we need to spray paint, not spray paint, but we need to paint it a little bit to make it look a bit nicer. So I've literally done everything.
It's really
everything you can see, I've done on my own, with the help of Tom and Alice, who spray painted a couple of chairs, I painted a wall. But these chairs have been the bane of my life. Spray painting these chairs has just been forever. And I got the last 2 done yesterday. I thought, yeah, I'm done. And then I noticed this morning one chair missed. I was like, do you know what? I don't care.
So if anyone wants to spray a chair,
if anyone wants to come spray paint a chair, I'll show you how. But yeah, so we opened the tea rooms as a revenue stream. Obviously the bars at Pride are now operated by Pride. So I looked, when I took over as chair, of ways to make sure that Pride is self-funded.
Yeah.
Because it's getting harder, and sponsors eventually are going to turn around and go, we haven't got the money. And we're seeing that this year. Our sponsors have all come back on bar, a couple, and they've said, look, we can't afford it, and that's totally fine. We get it. We are very lucky that we've got massive support from M&S Bank and Bank of America, and a lot of other sponsors that come on board. But it's getting harder and harder. So this is where the
tickets sales work for anyone that doesn't.
So what we do every year, or we have done for the last 2 years, is we've released 1,000 tickets through the year that are free. And that, in theory, costs us up to £10,000 of lost revenue. But it's important to me that people still get a chance to come to Pride.
Yeah.
Those tickets have sold out at the moment, but we are going to look at putting, a sort of a reserve list together. So if people are struggling to go, look, I can't afford £10, they can get in contact through the website, and we will see what we can do.
Can people come on the day and pay their £10 on the day?
On the day as well. We would advise that you pay in advance to us, it's cheaper. I don't know what the on-the-day price is going to be. It's not going to be anything dramatic.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say, it's going to be £11, and then you think, well, I'll just get it on the day, because that doesn't help Pride. We need that money in advance so we know what we've got coming in. We know how many people are coming, so we can obviously make sure the toilet facilities are, the numbers we need, the food providers there, the bars are well stocked, because the last thing we want to do is go, we sold 2,000 tickets. We don't need all these toilets. We don't need all this stock. And on the day, 10,000 people come on board. So it's important that people buy in advance. One, so we know for numbers, for safety, for what we have to buy and things. But two, it just gives us that chance to go. The event costs around £120,000 for a one-day event, and people don't see that. Our insurance, for instance, is around £8,000. That to me is money that hopefully we'll never have to use. We never have to use insurance, but that's £8,000 that we won't see. So it's very expensive to put these events on now. So we launched prepay as well last year.
That's the bar token.
That's the bar token. Yeah. So you get like a plastic card, which I have one in my wallet.
Woo!
Because I'm forever showing people. So it's a plastic card. Looks like a gift card. You literally give it to the bar staff. They scan it for you. You can upload credit in the Rainbow Tea Rooms. So you do that in the tea rooms. If you can't get into us, you can go online, and there's an online credit which gives you like a QR code. You can screenshot your phone, so you don't have to have your phone live, because there is internet issues down where we are. So you can screenshot the QR code. It still works because the live reception's on our end, and it deducts the credit. For doing that, what we have done this year is we froze the prices at 2023 prices, because obviously, we are in this cost of living crisis, which, people are feeling it, but then I also feel it is fueled on heavily by the media, so people are feeling the cost of living. I get that, but we froze the prices. It's 2023's prices, and they're cheaper than on the day prices as well. So if you just buy on the day, you will pay slightly more, but this is a thank you for buying in advance, because that money comes to us directly.
So can people still buy cash on the day?
You can still pay cash in card, yeah. So
that way's cheaper.
But that way's cheaper. So for me, cash is king. By paying cash, it helps us. But by buying in advance, that is a better help to us. And like I said, you can do that you can come into the tea rooms and buy these with cash or card. The tea rooms is open every day from 9:30 till around about 4:30. Long on Saturdays, 9 till 6. But it's just a great way of helping Pride get the money in advance, and then it means the nearly £70,000 this year needs to be paid in advance. Ooh. Can be paid because there's money from sponsors, there's money from from bar revenue, from pitch fees, etc. So it's a hard mission, and we're on course. We're looking very healthy this year, but it's not been an easy stretch by a long mark, and not just for every event that's happening this year. Everyone is finding that.
Is the parade still happening this year?
Parade should still happen. Yeah, we are planning as normal. The general election causes us a little issue.
Really?
Yeah, so we have to get road closures from the Secretary of State, because Parliament will be dissolved and will be shut for longer.
Oh no!
That means we've had to race our applications in. That's happening. There are special measures that are put in place. So for us, it's business as usual. It would be very, very, very extreme that this wouldn't get permission. Whilst the ministers aren't working, the people that work for the ministers still do. Okay. So things do still get processed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, it's business as normal. Like I say, we've had reassurances from meetings that they've gone, look, we don't think it will affect you. We're planning as normal. So parade, it's lucky one of the biggest ones as well this year again. There's a lot of businesses signed up for it already. So we're excited for the parade.
And how can people get involved in the parade if they want to come up? Can they just come along, or do they need to register?
So you need to register. So if you go onto the Facebook page or onto the website, there's a section, there's posts on the Facebook page that give you a link. You click along. If you are a local organisation, you're a charity, or you're marching as a solo person, it's free. If you're marching as a business, there is a small cover cost. Because again, the parade costs us around about £6,000 just to close the roads down, for insurance for it, for traffic management, and
So you wouldn't think that
just to walk around the street would be
so
expensive.
Cost. Yeah, just to walk.
And the council help us with that as well. We've got to give credit where credit's due. They do help us with those costs. This is more the management of it, and obviously we live in a world now where terrorism is a threat. Protests are being seen more, so we have to put measures in place, and that costs. So it's hard, but parade, as far as we can see, will definitely happen. There's no. We're not panicking. It was when we have to be honest with people. I've always been honest with people and said that. So if there is any issue, it's because of that.
All the information is up on the Facebook page, which is Chester Pride, or the website, which is chesterpride.co.uk.
Well done.
And what if people want to hold a stall? Are them places all booked now?
All the stalls are booked for now, but again, there's a reserve list already. So what I would say is normally around about March time, this goes out on our social media platforms. So anyone thinking, I'll do it for next year, look around about March, you'll then start seeing adverts going out on the social media, on the website, for stall holders, for sponsors, for parade entries, that type of thing. But parade entries will run right the way through, normally to about the first week of August. And then if people decide on the day they want to join the back of the parade, that's fine. If there's space to join, then there is obviously an official closing point. Some people may march after that, but it's seen that isn't part of Pride.
What time and where would people meet the parade to follow you down?
So with that, what we do is we don't really give that information out just for safety reasons. So if anyone does want to join the parade, we ask that you register, you at least express interest, so we've got contact details for people.
Because some people just wait outside Pride, don't they, and watch you all come in.
Yes, I mean, if you want to watch the parade, I mean, the best spot is Bridge Street, because you've got the roads. So it's multi-level, so should it rain, which we're hoping it won't,
that's a good idea.
You can get on the roads. You can also come and get a takeaway coffee from the Rainbow Tea Rooms as well. So, always thinking there. But yeah, I mean, Bridge Street is probably the best, because then you're only around the corner from Pride. So you can get at the back of the parade, leg it down, And you're
it is on the bus route as well for a lot of people to get to Pride, isn't it? Which is really, really handy.
Yeah, so that helps people that aren't from Chester can kind of get a feel. But there's normally directions to down there. There's a bit more signage this year in the city centre pointing people down.
And what about people that are coming out of the area to Chester for Pride? Is there any availability to book at Bridge Street Views?
No, it's fully booked. The whole weekend is fully booked. So we, as part of the tea rooms, our landlady Roslyn, she has the whole building, and above us is Rebecca Jane, who's like a fantastic beautician. But above that, there's some apartments.
Is that above here?
Above here, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we took on these apartments just to build a bit of revenue in. And obviously, if we've got anyone was coming through our helpline that was homeless, we had someone that we could say, right, we've got temporary accommodation to put you in, that type of thing. But the apartments, obviously, through the summer, they always do, pretty decently, especially on races and stuff. But yeah, anyone that's come to Chester that thinks, oh, do you know what, I fancy a weekend away or a midweek break, we've got apartments that, are literally above the tea rooms.
So you can come down and have your breakfast here?
Yeah, I mean, you can cook if you want. There's a kitchen, but why cook when there's a cafe below you?
And I've had a breakfast here this morning, and I've got to say, it was really lovely.
You got the breakfast?
Yes, I had a big one. The big breakfast.
The big breakfast,
yeah. Clear that up. Big breakfast.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't eat the big breakfast. It's too much for me.
It was nice.
I can't. I'm one of those people that I can't eat first thing in the morning. So, like a breakfast sandwich that normally does me. But yeah, I always think, oh, please do the breakfast all day, because by about 12:30, I could eat that now. So I have to set up for like a fish finger butter, which is my favourite thing on the menu, I've got to admit.
Fish finger butter, it's proper old school.
I just want Scott to do smiley faces.
Do they do fish finger butter?
They do, yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I'm gonna get Scott to get smiley faces on the menu. If it kills me,
my kids love smiley faces.
Yeah, smiley faces and fish finger butters. I will get Scott to get them on the menu if it kills me. As he just walk past smirking.
Start protesting outside. We want smiley faces. So we've got the tea rooms, the cafe here. Yeah. We've got Chester Pride. We've got Bridge Street Views, which is really fantastic. What about Auntie Wanda? What's she doing now?
So Wanda is retired at the moment, which is
at the moment
fabulous. Yeah, when I initially said I was gonna get rid of Wanda, I was gonna kill her off. And my event we had at St Mary's, which was fantastic, was gonna be a surprise funeral. So people were gonna, because obviously it's set in a church, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna play on this one. I'm gonna do a funeral. I was gonna get Shaggy to come out dressed as a vicar, and to proceed with watching it with a service. And then I just talked to people, and this sounds really big-headed now, but the amount of people that were messaging me saying, please don't kill Wanda off. You don't realise how much of a part of our life she is. And I was like, that's really sweet. I thought, oh my God, that is really sweet. And through lockdown, I got messages that it still upsets me now that through lockdown, there's people that would say to me, my highlight of the week is waiting for Tuesday night when you were doing the Gender Blender live stuff from your living room. And there were, these were people that were on their own, that had to go back home to the parents, that weren't openly gay, that would sit in their bedroom and watch this show and just get that sense of they're part of the community again whilst in a homophobic sort of setting. And I didn't think of that. I just thought of it as, for me, I did it because, like now on camera, you can only see from the waist up. Yeah. So for me, I was in drag in 20 minutes. I had like a sparkly top on.
Really?
But no lashes, no nails
20 on. Minutes?
20 minutes done. And I'd be sat there in my pair of box shorts, my hairy legs hanging out, and my socks on, going, no one can see this bit. And it was the best drag ever, because I could just do 20 minutes, I was done. I didn't need to put lash on, and my safety blanket is nails. If I've not painted my nails, I don't feel complete.
Really?
And first night I went out without my nails on, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awful. And I was like, oh, I can get away with this. And then so what I started doing was painting just one fingernail. So when I looked down, I could see like red on my nail. And then I was like, right, I feel like I'm Wanda now.
No.
So COVID for me sped up the lack of love for being in drag. I liked doing that bit, because I could see what it was doing. It was making a sense of purpose for some people, which we lost 9 people through COVID, through suicide in Chester, from our community. And that hit me quite hard, because 6 of those people I knew, and 3 of them came to the helpline. The other 6 didn't, for whatever reason. And, and it hit me. And every now and again, I've been quite vocal. I've suffered with, with mental health myself.
And you've been quite open about that.
I think it's important too. You've got to. I fell out with a friend a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago now, just after Christmas, or around Christmas it would have been. Just a miscommunication as usual. The scene chats and people hear things, and it gets back to the person. And this was he's my closest friend, and I felt like I'd been in a breakup of a relationship. We're that close, and there's always that running joke of are we together sort of thing. And it hit me so hard that I literally was like, do you know what? I'm going for a walk, and this is probably my last walk.
Oh, no.
And I looked at this bridge and thought, do you know what? All I've got to do is lean forward. And then I went, no, this isn't as bad as you think. You're in a dark place. And I always said from that point, and when I thought about the first time when me and my first partner broke up, I would always be vocal about this and say, look, even people like me that are seen as happy, clappy, always happy people, even we suffer. And it's important for me to say, do you know what? I've been there. And I've had friends once who said, look, I feel how you did. What do I do? And I always said, the best advice I can give someone is write it down how you feel. Mm-hmm. Facebook statuses are the best thing in the world. Write it in. Do not respond to them. Put them there. You feel you've got it out in the open. I post a lot of stuff in Swedish, and that is kind of my cry for help. And there's 3 people that if I put something in Swedish will instantly message me, and one of them Shagga.
Oh, really?
I put anything Swedish, whether it's good or bad, instantly she will be on the phone to me. Are you okay? And that's my sort of trigger point to say I need a little bit of help, but I'm too proud to ask. I also post a lot of stuff in Swedish because I've got friends, in Sweden anyway, so it's not always. So if I do post stuff in Swedish, it's not doom and gloom.
And you're going, Warren!
I normally say to Shagga,
your phone will be
don't worry, I'm just messaging people. I'll come back to Sweden and put it in Swedish, so But it's important that people talk about the mental health issues because we all at some point will go through it.
Yeah, 100%,
and this is where pride is a massive lifeline for a lot of people. That pride has the ability to give a space to people, and that's what Wanda did, and that's why I kind of said, I've done it for so long.
How many years is it?
22 years it got to in January.
You're not going to miss Wanda?
At the moment, I'm not. I've got to be honest. I went back to Rosie's on Eurovision to host their night. So when I retired, I made a big point because there's a few people on the scene that do these. Oh, you said you're retiring and you're posting this. I had 2 gigs that were pre-booked in before I retired. And I thought, I'm going to honour these 2 gigs. One I cancelled because I thought actually I went out on a high. My farewell party, friends and family around me. I even had family that have never seen me in drag were at the show, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. 22 years they'd never seen me. And I was getting ready, and there's a video on Facebook of me getting ready. Now, I never ever let anyone see me in the transition period of going from Warren to Wanda. You either see me as one or the other. Unless you pay my ways, then I have to let you see me because normally you need to chat to me. But I said to my friend, Ian, can I film you? And I went, I don't know if I feel comfortable, but let's film it.
Yeah.
And if it looks good, great. If he doesn't, I don't want it going out. And he was like, yep, not a problem. And I was getting ready, and there was obviously 5 of the queens around me making loads of noise, chatting and stuff, not seeing each other. For me, the room was silent. I couldn't hear anything. And the only other time I felt that was when I felt at my lowest. And it's dark goes to nothing, light goes to nothing, sound disappears, and it's just a void, there's nothing. And it's the weirdest, you can't describe nothing, but there's nothing there. Everything just changes. You don't see things slow down, but you feel like when you're picking up a makeup brush, you feel like you're doing this with it, and in reality, you're like, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And I just at that point went, this is it. This feels right. So then I quickly recorded a thank you video to say thank you, and said I'll do the Eurovision video. I went back to Rosie's to do the Eurovision. Had a ball. It was nice to be back at Rosie's again. I was at Gender Blender for 16 years, which is only ever meant to be for 6 weeks. It was nice to be back and see. All my old managers. There was Georgia, there was Gary, there was Chris, all the people that I've worked with and drove up the wall for years. It was nice to see them back, in Wonder capacity. Had a great time, took it all off, put it back in the suitcase and went, That's it. And it's actually still in Rose. I need to go and collect it because all my stuff is there in my dressing room still. But I've not missed it so far. I will, and this is why I retired Wonder, because I thought at some point I'm going to want to go back to it.
Yeah, I said to Barry, no, that's not one gone forever. No way. No.
And this is the thing. Like when I said I was going to retire, I retired from a lot of things. Obviously, a lot of my commitments to work. I'm bored out on my backside at the moment.
I thought you're always a very active person.
I've always ran several projects together. I've still got projects in the background.
Yeah, I said I can't see him just like sitting. What's he going to do?
So I got asked this the other day on another radio station. They said, what am I going to do? And I noticed it's on your list of questions. And I said, I really want to go into teaching or politics.
Really?
Yeah,
oh.
And, you know, I mean...
That would be amazing.
Ultimately, I'll run the country, everyone gets a Wednesday morning off. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing, I kind of like... Because I work at the university, host like a quiz and karaoke there. And this sounds really weird, but when I'm helping what I call my uni kids, who they are adults, but they're always my uni kids, I love Chester University students. They're the best group of people you can ever meet. And when you're around these young people, you think, do you know what? The country's got hope. Because these people are so clued up, they're so switched on. And it's not this, oh, they're woke and they're this and that. No, they care about people. And if woke means caring, then, we're all, well, most of us are woke in that sense. But it's the word of the week at the moment that the idiots use because it's their way of getting back.
I was thinking what's woke means.
It's the whole, oh, you this, you that, and the other. And it comes from America. Someone puts a pretty picture up in America on Facebook. The idiots over here then start using the same words. Oh, original! You found the word of the week. But I stood there with my uni kids, and we'd be doing like a picture round, and it's like catchphrase, and I'd stand there and be like, "Come on, what can you say?" And you were helping them, and then they'd go, "Oh, I get it now." And I'm like, "If only I could do that with like maths or with business studies."
Yeah. And
I was like, "Do you know what? I kind of like the idea of teaching. I like the idea of politics, but at the moment for me, I have to remain very neutral on politics because I'm a head of a charity, and the Charities Commission doesn't allow us to have an opinion on this, especially through voting season, because we could sway people's votes. And I'm finding it very, very hard this year to not say things, because I will surprise you when I say I sit on the fence. I have voted for all three major parties at some point in the past, because I will vote for the party I truly believe will do the best job for the country. And that does mean at some point I've voted, for the dark side for some people. But at the time it was the right thing, and I still stand by my vote. I will always vote for who I think is right. This year I find it really hard. So I don't like what Rishi's done, and I didn't like what Boris has done. Keir Starmer, for me, is going to lose a lot of votes. We've got an amazing MP in Chesterfield, Sam Dixon, who does a fantastic job. But for me to vote for Sam, it's a vote for Keir, and I don't like the fact that you have to vote for your local MP and your national gets impact. You should be able to vote. I would personally vote for Sam.
So if it was like two separate...
And someone nationally. And I still don't know who I'm going to go for nationally, but I'm still going to vote because it's important. People died for the right, especially women, they died for the right to vote. So even if you go along and just vote, by spoiling your ballot paper, you've made your opinion count. I'm not going.
Because there's no point in not voting, and then you see people get on the internet and they'll go, "Oh, this, oh, that," and they go, "Who did you vote?" Well, I didn't. And
I always challenge people on that and go, "Did you vote?" No. Then you can't have an opinion. You can't. Even if you voted for the underdog or for an independent, if you just throw your vote to someone else, at least you can say, "Well, I looked. The big three weren't worth my vote." Even if you vote for, and I don't want to mention it, but if you voted for, like Reform or whatever they're now called, it's a vote. If you believe that they're going to do the right job,
the Green
Party, you've got to vote for who you think. And I could never sit here and say you can't vote for Nigel Farage. I'm personally not a fan, and I don't agree with a lot of things he says. But that's your vote, and it's only you can have that vote. So you have to make that decision, and you have to stand by that decision. So for me, politics at the moment is a hard one to get into because I generally don't know where I'd sit on what party. And I also think if I went as an independent, you're not going to get anywhere because, people vote. It's like when you go, and I use this argument with the tea rooms. When you go for a coffee, the first thing you do, should we go Costa, should we go Starbucks, should we go you go to a branded coffee shop before you go to an independent. And it's just something that's drilled in our heads. You do it instantly. I do it when I order food online, which I order quite a lot online. I'll go straight to one of the Power 3. Now in Chester we've got something called Chester Eats, and I've used it, but I always go to Just Eat or Uber or just because it's in your head.
It's in your head, isn't it?
It's sheep mentality to a point, but then it's you go with the flow, you go with the majority. So I think by being an independent, and again I'm not knocking an independent,
because I think that you're well known enough to be able to do that.
Possibly, but then
it wouldn't be like just somebody you've never heard of just starting going, "Oh, who's here?" You've got a lot of history and a lot of background, and you've got proof of what you've done charity-wise.
Yeah. My other side to that though is I am openly gay, and I do feel that would lose a lot of votes. I still think in 2024 we've only got one MP that's openly gay, from what I can recall. In local politics, there's a few. I honestly do. I think it does. I've said this in work, in some jobs I've gone to, I've held like, quite high up jobs, and I've always felt that I was looked down. Oh, it's just the gays are kicking up again because they want this.
Really?
And it's never been said in that way, but it just, I don't know if
feeling.
I don't know if it's me overthinking, but I do think, being part of our community, especially when it's being so battered at the moment by negativity in the press, I do sometimes feel it goes against you. But that's why we fight for what we do, and that's why, and when you get people going, oh yeah, but you want to be treated as equals, but you're doing it. It's like, well, equality doesn't come at the cost of anyone else. We all get a fair balance, and it's not shoving it down your throat, it's not ramming it in your face. It's just going, why can't I have the same respect?
See, I've got a family member that's a member of the Senate, and she's openly gay, and she's very proud of that.
Yeah,
she
and you should never.
So I think you should go for it.
You should never hide your true self.
Push him into a corner now.
I mean, it's something that I am very tempted to go into. I genuinely think there's a few things I've had offered to me in the last couple of weeks that I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm getting bored. I'm probably going to go down one of these routes, and these routes may lead to... I
can't see you going away being a quiet person. I think you need to come back as loud as ever. And you could actually make a change in politics for you to
I'd
go
like to
into
think that's my view. Is I would like to think I would be the gobby one.
I think you'd be the man.
I would be the one that isn't trained like an MP. I go in and just see things in the real world. Because we have got MPs that do a great job, and I don't want to knock anyone from any party, because for whatever reason they're on that party, we have got MPs that do give a damn and do their best. But then we've also got MPs that let's be fair, are in it for the wrong reason. It's a great salary, it's a great prospect. So for me,
we've got people commenting, and I can't see what you're putting. We're not ignoring, but I can't seem to get it up on.
Hi.
I don't know how you get it up on an iPad screen. So that was the plan, to read every.
Oh.
That was the plan, wasn't it, Warren?
Quite that.
I'm no good at iPads. Just don't know what we're doing there.
It won't let you do it. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we've got them. Yeah.
There we go.
So we've got June McEnroe, you've got Lucy, Edward, Sue. I think Sue's in Australia. Paul, Rod.
Good morning, good
Emma.
afternoon, good evening.
Oh, they've gone again. What did I? Oh, yeah, there it is. Peter Lloyd. We've got a few. Panagotius, you're over in Greece.
Wow. So we've got international. There
we've
you
got
go.
to know now to touch that, and I couldn't see anyone. Sorry about that. I was thinking we had no audience. The thing I wanted to ask you, and I keep forgetting, I'm gonna say it now. I'm not going off the subject of everything. Shiny tights. I've always wanted to know, where do the drags get these shiny tights? Because they look fantastic.
So they're what's called dance skins, and they're what ice skaters wear or dancers wear. There is only one shop in Chester. Excuse me, that does them on Watergate Street, and it's on the Rose called Bedazzled. It's a little fancy dress shop. Little fancy dress shop. It's a lovely woman that runs it, independent shop, and it's one of these shops. It's a hidden gem of Chester.
Really?
And that's why I obviously gave him a little bit of a shout out.
I'm always fascinated.
I wear 3 pairs.
And I look and I think, I don't mind legs look that good.
So I wear 3 pairs, which is the equivalent of 15 pairs.
3 pairs over?
Yeah, over each other. So that's the equivalent of 15 pairs of normal women's tights. So they get a little bit, but then that pulls your legs. It's when everyone goes, oh, you've got great legs.
Is that the
most
secret?
queens do, because obviously you're in like 9-inch stiletto heels. But they pull your legs in as well, and they give you a really good bum as well. So
I'm going there for 3 pairs of tights.
3 pairs of tights. If you put them on, and that's I mean, some queens will wear padding as well, which makes the shape look a bit hourglass.
Right.
I've never needed to. I've got enough padding naturally, so it just
I've got the padding, and you just pull it.
It just moves around and just gets in place.
We've got Hazel Bellis on the live, and we've got Kelly, and Hazel is saying, and she's enjoying the interview.
Oh,
now we know how to get the comments up. What else did I have on me? So it was a shiny. And what was the highs for Wanda, and what was the lows?
I would say the highlights for me, first prize, stood on the balcony, which is reserved for royalty, on the town hall with Miss Penny, stood there with our foam hands, waving away. Both of us sat in the LA in our dressing room, bricking it, going, not because we were nervous about what was there, it was more who was going to be there. Was there going to be people? We were like, oh, we get 100 people, it'll be fine. And then when we turned up to 2,500 people, it was like, oh my God. So for me, one of the highs is
that pride. A pride high or a one?
Probably a Wonder high and a pride high, because it was the first pride and we did it. You know, Helen and Dave, who were the original and vice chair and chair that swapped, they both did each role. They were instrumental in getting Pride off the ground with a group of other people as well. But it was Dave and Helen that, you know, for me, they brought me involved through Mike Sullivan, who obviously passed away a couple of years ago at the LA. He was like, look, speak to Wanda because, you know, all the contacts of celebrities and stuff. Which, you know, my phone is just full of random names, which is why everyone says to me, why do you always hold your phone on? Because my phone has so many numbers in it that if it ever got out, I'd get shot. So that was a Pride highlight, and it was a Wanda highlight. Another Pride highlight for me was working with Liverpool Pride and the BBC last year in Liverpool and hosting the Eurovision viewing party.
Yeah, because you're a big Eurovision.
I love my Eurovision.
I'm like the biggest Eurovision fan I know.
Absolutely. You know, it drives people nuts when, you know, the week of Eurovision, I was like, oh God, we've got 3 nights of you putting up statuses.
Stay on Facebook.
A lot of people will mute me for 3 days just think I can't go. A lot of people mute me constantly because whatever. But so I think that hosting that there was meant to be 900 people in that room. There was 1,200 in the end. And for me, the bigger the crowd, the better. I love a big crowd. It doesn't faze me. Put me in a room with 20 people and I'll crumble. I'm absolutely in a bag of nerves. But the bigger the crowd, you know, I think the biggest I've done was the what it was called the LG Arena, and that was 21,000, I think.
Really?
Did not faze me because you can't see anyone. It just becomes a sea of lights flashing and colour.
Wow.
So same with Pride. I always say to people like, God, why were you at Pride this year? I was on the front row.
And you're worried about being an MP.
And it's more where I'd sit, I think, and the public talking and things that doesn't really bother me. I do get nervous talking to people I don't know, especially as me because I've only done it for the last 22 years as Wanda, so I've always had a mask on.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bit to get used to.
It's like if I DJ now, which I still do a couple of nights a week.
Is it different?
Yeah, I hate it. I don't know, it's the wrong way. I don't hate it. I hate the feel because when I go on the mic.
What you could do though, you could just be Warren and paint your nails. Try that.
And you never know. It's more for me. It's the first to speak on the mic. The first word on the mic, because I always get that fear that the mic's going to squeal back, or because sometimes you go into venues where it's already open, so you can't sound check and stuff. So if I turn the mic on and it echoes, I'm like, oh, and then everyone can see me and go, oh, you know what he's doing, you know. So yeah, whereas if I'm in drag, I'm just like, what, you know. So yeah, BBC was a Pride highlight. Another Wanda highlight. I
think there's probably loads.
There's tons of videos, but I'd probably say like that when we do like all the charity nights for Pride, I enjoy them because I don't do cabaret as standard.
That noise is the running cafe.
Oh, it's the coffee machine. It's a bit busy this morning, which is good.
Hi, Leanne.
But yeah, when we do the Pride like fundraisers, I get to do a little bit of cabaret. It's massively out my comfort zone. I'm not the best, but I give it my all. And I do come off stage going, I enjoyed that. And then I watch the video back and go,
oh my God. Yeah.
That was amazing. Oh my God, yeah, I won't do that again.
What's a low moment for Wanda?
Low moment was when you stand in a room, excuse me, and there's no one in it. Or you've got
Does that happen?
Yeah, massively. So this was a part of me retiring Wanda was, especially with nightclubs, they're in decline. Our socialisation side has changed now, and I called this before COVID. So COVID will sped this up. If you think now, and everyone listening, when was the last time you went on a night out where you didn't just go to your local pub, you went into a different city, or to the city you're from, or to Chester?
Mine was March.
And you went out and you had a night out where you went to several venues, and you did that. So yours was March. Mine, realistically, would have been last year. It was the last time I went out properly.
Well, that's the first time I've been in a club setting, a nightclub setting, or a gig sort of thing since before COVID.
Yeah. And that is the same for most people.
And I came to the over 50s.
Which is bloody brilliant, isn't it?
It was good.
I wanted to come in, but I was like, I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there, but I just thought, I didn't want to come in because although I worked there at the time, I just thought, you know what, this, again, it's kind of a safe space for the over 50s that, there will be people that want to go because they go, oh, we're going for nostalgia. There'll be people that went that were socially, awkward around youngsters.
Yeah.
That was their safe space to go. I can
That's
go to
how
that
I
club.
felt, yeah, because when you go into a pub now, it's like no disrespect because I've got youngsters, adult kids, but you go out and it's a different scene to what I'm used to being like 50. I think I'm 52. I might be 51.
I keep doing that, I keep saying I'm going to go, how old are you? I don't know.
It's different going out now than it was. people are different. So
and social media has changed this.
Yeah.
If you think now, the old generation, and I say this, now again with no disrespect, aren't always tech savvy. There are a few exceptions. Now, we've got Barry here, one of the most tech savvy people I know. So this doesn't apply.
For me, I can't even use an iPad.
But this doesn't apply to everyone. And this is the thing. So, it does. If you generalise everything, it does. The older generation aren't necessarily down with apps and things like that. So there's a barrier straight away when it comes to youngsters. I see this in LGBT venues. You get, the older generation go in and feel very awkward talking to, a 10-year-old then, to a 20-year-old. I'm saying that because I can see the kid across the way. They'll feel very awkward sitting next to, say, a 21-year-old because they've got nothing in common. And this is when Pride has the ability to go, actually, we're all the same, regardless of age. Come and sit down with us, come and chat to us.
Yeah, because there isn't a common ground. There's no, everyone
find a common ground.
Fit in, don't they?
But you still need safe spaces, and that's where this over 50s and Rosie's, to be fair, have played a blinder with this. They've done a fantastic job, and to the point where I think they even said the first one they did was busier than, because they do one on a Saturday now as well. It's like a soul session. That was busier than the night time, which is fantastic. That they've now got another revenue, and this is where for me, midweek clubbing has died now. It really has. You go into clubs, and despite these clubs' best effort, people just have changed how they go. And I called this a while ago. I remember saying that pound shops will come and go, coffee shops will come and go, in how they are, and then the next big thing will be the high street will change from retail to hospitality, leisure, and recreational facilities, and we're seeing that now.
Because even like high street banks are disappearing and everything.
Banks are going,
post offices
we don't need the post office in 10 years will not be a thing. I guarantee that. I've put money on that. It will be an app-based service in 10 years' time. There'll be drop-off points where, like we've got now with the Amazon boxes and things like that. That's how it will go. It's just been sold this morning to a guy from the Czech Republic. Let's hope he does a good job with it. I don't think he's gonna, but that's to be seen. But attitudes have changed a bit, and that for me is a low. When I looked at Gender Blender, that was part of the reason I retired Wonder. Blender was my baby.
It's been big, hasn't it?
Huge night in Chester. It was the first sort of gay night for my generation. We had ones before us that went, and then I brought Gender Blender in, based on something that a friend of mine, Ken Plevin, did at Love Street called Rush, and based on one in Manchester called Poptastic, which a fantastic guy, John Hamilton, did with a few other people. And I blended the two. Rush was about community, Poptastic was about giveaways, themes, celebrities coming along and that time. We blended the two together and we created Gender Blender. It was only meant to be for 6 weeks, and it's the longest running night in Chester. The only thing that's going to catch up to me now is the student night that's currently happening. But I'm proud of that because that was only meant to be 6 weeks. And I've said my proudest achievement personally, away from Wonder Open Pride, is watching two people of the same sex kiss on the dance floor at Rosie's and no one bat an eyelid. Because when I went in, it was a very homophobic place because that's how society was. If I held the hand of my partner, I'd get looks from staff, from customers, from door staff, manager. What are you doing that in here? This isn't a gay bar. And it was how society was. When you speak to like your grandparents and they'll refer to certain people.
Oh yeah, God.
My nan, was the most potty mouthed person, but had the heart of gold.
Yeah.
That every nan did. But you said, I need to go to the shop. I'll go down to the local shop, and you knew what was coming. Like, Nan, don't go there.
Yeah.
So those two women that live up the road. Yes, I know. So and so son's gay. Do you know him? Yeah, Nan. There's 5 of us, and we all get together once a week for a coffee. It doesn't work that way. Society's changed, and for me, it was hard watching my night deplete.
Oh, yeah.
And it happened across the board everywhere. So if you have got a busy night in nights and pubs, keep supporting it. And if you've not, go and support it. I know it's dearer to go, and this is where supermarkets really need to play their part. The price of supermarket alcohol needs to increase. And now I know Wales did this with the minimum pricing, and it has helped. If you look at places like Trilogy and Bangor, it's rammed every night. It's massive, that nightclub, and I remember it as the Octagon, which they've just done an Octagon reunion for people over 40 that would have remembered it as Octagon. And I kind of wanted to go, but I never got a chance. But maybe to the next one. But for me, I think society's changed, and we've all got to learn to adapt now and how we do it. And if you think now, people want longevity on entertainment. You want to be paying for something that you're going to get hours of fun. So quiz nights are really popular again. Bingo is popular. But going on a night out isn't as popular because you think, got to get your taxi in. And again, COVID destroyed the taxi business. A lot went to delivery firms, so we lost a lot of taxi drivers.
To be fair, I would have come to Rosie's over 50s more if I could get here. Yeah. Well, if I could drive, because I don't drink anymore, so if I could drive,
same for me.
It'd be brilliant. I'd drive.
Yeah. And again,
taxi's expensive.
Taxi's expensive, but you just pointed on something as well. You don't drink, I don't drink. Mm-hmm. I gave up drinking through lockdown. One, because I had fear of God. We had so much alcohol from Pride that we couldn't use that we said to the commission, we can't get rid of it, we can't sell it. So
we'll drink it.
Take it.
Why not?
It's going to go in the bin. The shelf life is not going to be there when we come out of COVID. It'd have been 2 years out of date. So we gave it away to everyone. And what I was doing was running around my neighbours on the Thursday at 10 to 8, knocking on the door, putting 4 cans of lager.
Oh, on the neighbours' door.
On the neighbours' door when we were clapping for the NHS.
Oh.
And it was the best thing we ever did because it then created a Facebook page for the stream. And I was bored and said to people, look, if you want anything from the shop, let me know, I'll go for you. And we had 2 little old ladies on our street. One's still there, and she'd kill me for saying little old lady because she's so independent, but walking to the shop was a bit of a challenge. The other one, sadly, doesn't live on our street anymore. I believe has moved away and sadly passed away. Oh. But I'd run the shop for a bit. Anyway, this Facebook group was created for people talking. Then what we do, the kids would come out on our street and they'd chalk out on the road a square outside our house that was made sure it was 2 meters away. So the kids were kind of learning maths at the time. They were learning art.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we'd all put our little deck chairs and we'd sit on the street with the cans of lager and we'd have a little chat. And I got to know my neighbours. We put Christmas lights up. We celebrated the NHS birthday. And even now, if someone gets a parcel, I mean, I'm very rarely at my house. So I'll get like a message in the Facebook page. Can someone take this parcel in?
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take it. And it created another sense of community. And a lot of streets did that, which is fantastic. So there was a plus to COVID. It did.
I enjoyed lockdown, not going to lie. I saved so much money.
Yeah.
People didn't need to come to my house or bother with me.
I didn't save money because we got into a bit of trouble with Pride. Obviously, through lockdown, there was no money coming in. So I had to bail us out a little bit. So I've seen a lot of money of mine depleting. I think, oh my God, I hope I get this back. I hope we have an event once again, and obviously we did. But there was a plus to COVID that we got a sense of community.
Yeah. 100%.
There was also a negative that a lot of people were on their own. And my friend Liam moved in with me through lockdown. He lived in a pub. And I kind of wish to God, if it was like, I'm thankful that he did because I thought, if he hadn't, I'd have gone mad on my own, and I'm so grateful that Liam moved in because I had someone to talk to. Liam's like a teenager, he just sat in his room for most of the time, but he'd come down, make coffee, we'd have a little chat and stuff, and I was like, but it was the sense of knowing someone was in the house, but I also every now and again think, I could just do with another week's lockdown. Can we have a week lockdown? Surely it's good for the planet. No planes flying.
For like a little bit.
Yeah, just a week. Pay us all. No planes flying. No cars driving. The planet will get a bit of a cool down for global warming. It'd be a great little thing. A week
Pajama days every day.
Yeah, and no one will care. But it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I know obviously we're now learning more about COVID. A lot of people have now resented it, and I think if we ever got anything like that again, God help trying to keep people in the houses because they'd probably just revolt. And I've got to admit, I followed the rules within an inch of its life. And then hindsight's powerful. You look back and think, did we really queue 3 meters apart from each other in the supermarkets, then fall over each other to get your Mega Mike's gems?
Yeah, looking back now, it's hard to believe that we even went through that, isn't it? And did those things.
It's when you look at your Facebook memories, and you're like, did I really go to that effort?
I noticed when people go, how old are you? And I can't remember because of the COVID thing.
In 2 years just disappeared.
Yeah, I lost like 2 years my whole life.
I only know the date because I'd watched Good Morning Britain or I get a newspaper. Now I don't watch Good Morning Britain as much because I'm never
even
in
the
the
age
house.
of my kids, well, how old are they? And I'm thinking, Christ, I don't know. I lost 2 years.
So they're older now. But no, I think COVID spread a lot of things. Like my dad, never used contactless on his card. My dad didn't even know what Amazon was. And a few months ago,
and then now he does.
After lockdown, hey, you want to get on this Amazon? I'm like, oh my God, my dad's got young. What do you mean? You can go on your phone and you tap this thing on your phone and then it comes the next day and I'm like, wow, we'll never do that, Dad. I'm like,
Martin's just popped up there. Martin Matthews, he comes to Pride.
Oh, hello, Martin.
It is that Martin, isn't it, Martin? Beard Martin.
Yeah. But my dad was like, I love Amazon. I'm like, please support the high street. And my dad does, to be fair. My dad's very traditional. It comes on a Wednesday, in and out before 1 o'clock because Wednesday in Chester was always Wednesday half day. So my dad would be like, why are they staying open late? I'm like, Dad, there's this thing called Modern World now and the shop's open until 6 o'clock at night now in Chester. But yeah, he spread things up. But again, you've got to see the positive in everything. There's always a positive and a negative. So for me, I see me leaving Pride as a positive, because it means Pride with the new directors can go in a different direction.
So next year's Pride, you're not going to be...
I won't be a part of it in any shape or form.
Really?
I'm still going to stay on with the tea rooms.
I think we should take bets on this, because I think I'd win that you will be.
Nope.
I don't think you can keep your fingers out the pies.
I've always said I will offer my help should it be needed. However, I want a clear break, because for me, and this is, again, it's where, like you touched on before, I'm well known. A lot of people know Pride and me, and it needs to have that separation, because again, when I go, things will change. And
so will you still be at the next Pride? Or?
I don't know. I don't know how. I think when I left Gender Blend, I thought that was going to hit me, and I thought, oh God, I'm going to be, a bag of emotional wreck. I've still got notifications on my phone every Tuesday, and I've not turned them off yet, because it's nostalgia. That at 9 o'clock goes, you need to start getting ready. And I've not turned them off yet. And every now and again I'll go, and then I'll go, yeah, but I've got a beard and I have to shave it off. I'm going to put the TV back on and carry on what I'm doing. I think when I leave Pride, that's the thing that's going to hit me the most, and I'm going to be an emotional wreck. So I think I might need a clear break from Pride. And again, I've spoke to previous, chairs of Pride, and they kind of said they found it hard at the beginning to watch it continue without being a part of it. And that's just natural jealousy. It's not...
Watching it continue, and then obviously it'll take a different direction, so it won't have like the Warren touch. For you, watching that change, do you think you'd get a sense of anger if they do it like a way that you wouldn't?
I think I'd be critical, and that's only natural.
Yeah.
But I will keep that criticism to myself. I will, if I see something they're doing, I think, I will, say to listen, guys, I wouldn't necessarily do it publicly, because that's not fair, and people did that to me when I took over. There's a lot of people, when I took over as chair, were like, really?
I think you've had your first share of stick over.
Yeah, I'm first chair to get a death threat, so I framed that picture, that letter. It's in my house.
Did you get it on?
I got a death threat because we cancelled.
I remember, it was the weather, wasn't it?
And I still stand by that, because in hindsight, it wasn't as bad. On the site, it was, and we had it last year. The wind blew, and a load of fencing went over, and that was at 22 mile an hour. And I was like, God, there was 42 mile an hour winds there. Those Harris fences in 2019.
Yeah, they'd have
been kites.
Yeah,
would have been.
You just couldn't take the risk, could you? That year anyway.
And we have 5 agencies that we work with that tell us the weather reports, and one's always, it's going to be thunderstorms, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be this. All 5 said the same thing, which has never happened in the 12 years. I went, hang on a minute.
And you've got to go with that.
I've got to listen to that.
If you'd have gone against that and a major disaster happened.
Well, we'd have been up in court. We'd have been up for manslaughter, or even worse. So I was like, I'm not putting the other directors through it. And it was my decision. Like, a few other people were like, we could probably get away with this, or, we should do it. It was me that ultimately just vetoed the lot and went, I'll listen to the arguments on both sides, but we're not happy, and I will take the fall for this, because it's me at the top. It's me that has to make that decision, and I'll always stand by that decision, whether people liked it or not.
Yeah, 100%.
And it caused us what we called the last 5 years of hell. So 2019, we had to reschedule. That cost us a lot of money, and I remember, obviously, it is out there, so this isn't like, anything that's not known. I had to bail us out through Pride, and I remember and this is why I get really annoyed when people criticise things that don't offer a solution. I sat in my mum's funeral and got a text message saying, we've run out of money. Can you transfer me some money? And I'm sat in my mum's funeral transferring money to make sure that event still happened. And I'm like, not many people do that, but I did, and I didn't mind, because it was my job to do, and that was the thing for me when, there was a rumour going around, that caused a bit of drama, that I was paid £50,000 a year. I had a company car, and I thought, well, I can't drive for one, so I had to negotiate myself an extra £5,000. And I had 55 grand a year. But the reality is, I don't get paid. Even in here now, I'll still pay. I don't pay for coffee, but I'll pay any food I have. I always pay for my food. Although I'm, director of this place and Pride, I still pay my own way, because also this pays for Pride. So
you're going to stay director of it?
I'm going to stay director on the tea rooms, just because this is the new directors all have their strengths, and here is very much, it's a lot of work to do, and the directors are going to have to get used to running Pride without me. They're going to have to get used to going, oh, well, Warren do this, or Warren, and it's like, well, I'm not there anymore. So they've got to find their own feet, and they have their vision now they want to do, and, that's great, because it means that Pride will go up another level now, and it will go in the direction that they feel is right, and, hopefully that will work, and they'll, in a year's time, they'll go, oh my God, it was so good, it was amazing. And the lineup was fantastic, and blah, 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 and nothing will change. I think there will be a few people that go, oh, you're not there, it wasn't the same.
Yeah,
that's more to, to sort of blow smoke at me, I guess, in that sense. But I've always been a part of the scene, so it's hard stepping away from things. And, it's one of those, but change is good. And like I say, we went through what I call the last 5 years of hell, which was the 2019 reschedule. Then we had COVID, we had the cost of living, and I promised the committee, with their help, I would get us through to the other end, get us debt free, get us back on track, and then we've got into this year, and we're kind of there, providing everything goes on touch bloody wood, everything goes well. Then it's time to say, right, I've done it all, I've done what I can do. I asked the committee to just put their faith in me and go with a one vision, one voice, and that was my vision, my voice, and they went with it. They trusted me, and we got to the other end. And and the committee did a fantastic job in everything they do as well. So we got to the end of it. So for me, it was naturally time to go.
Do you know what? I still never got to interview you in drag all the times. All the times.
Going back to that, like I say, never say never. There is a reunion for Gender Blender already being spoken about.
How is that?
And I'm kind of open. That'll be next year. I am open to looking at. Obviously, Gender Blender is copyrighted and trademarked to me, or going through its trademark.
Where can people find updates when that comes?
So it'll be Gender Blender official on, Instagram, on my pages and things like that. I still got my Instagram page, Lady Wonder, because I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm like, do I change the name? Do I keep it?
No, you've got to keep it.
So yeah, I mean, I still promote obviously my uni off the wall nights on there. But then I have to put on that it's Warren, it's not Wonder, because people go, you do Wonder? I'm like, no, they still don't know I've retired yet.
You can't even put W at the end, can you?
No, because it's the same. Yeah. So it's kind of like when people go to me like, oh, we'll come and see you on Tuesday. I'm like, please don't, because I'm not there. What do you mean? I left in March. No.
Maybe just sign it off Warren there.
Yeah, I think I have to, or Lord Y. I've gone from Lady Y to Lord Y.
Or MP.
Yeah, but you never know. But yeah, so I mean, I'm up for the idea of doing the reunion. My hardest gig was the commercial in the courtyard, because that was my favourite one.
Yeah,
massive stage outside, 2,000 people outside every Saturday. That's the one I kind of do miss. I think, oh, could I come back as a different drag queen?
Are you doing drag at any of the after parties this year?
Nope. No drag. So there's a bet going on at the moment. I think I promised £1,000 if I turn up and drag, because some people go, you'll do one, and I'm like, if I do, you can have £1,000.
Really?
So I'm definitely not doing drag this year, but you don't have to do a crowdfund of that grand.
I don't know. After a few drinks, you might be convinced.
I like my beard too much. I mean, I'm going to the homeless look at the moment.
Drag with a beard.
Because it's growing, but no, I couldn't do it. Dolores does it.
Dolores does, yeah.
For me, it's not drag. It's not my style of drag. I couldn't do it. Again, if I've not got nails on, I'm cheating. So to have stubble, I'll be like, oh my God. So yeah, I just couldn't do it. But yeah, I think, definitely no plans to bring Wonder back at the moment. There will be some stuff with Gender Blender happening in the coming months, but it's not going to be what people think. It's just there's a few things we're doing.
Will that be at Rosie?
No, so again, without giving too much away.
Okay, top secret.
Just keep looking on the social media pages. Things will happen with Gender Blender.
Will that be up on the Chester Pride page as well?
No, because it's not. Gender Blender doesn't sponsor Pride, so I can't put it up on. It'd be me abusing my power if I did that.
So it would be just.
So Gender Blender official on Wonder's Facebook page, that type of thing, and I'm sure everyone will share it when they see it, because it'll be kind of big news, I guess. So we'll see. But yeah, it should be good.
Should we go for a recap on Pride then now, before we go?
So Saturday, 17th of August, Castle Square. Tickets are available from chesterpride.co.uk. Also prepay, which saves you lots of money on your drinks. You can get a card from the Rainbow Tea Rooms or go online and do it. The bars do take cash in card on the day. There will be more bars set up for prepay. Then there will
VIP tickets.
VIP tickets. I think there's about 40 left, if that. Again, they're on the website as well. VIP area last year got absolutely battered. We knew it was going to fail on the day. We had to go with it. We always learn lessons as we go along. So this year there's Posh Lou's in there. It's a bigger area. There's not as many people put in there this year.
It's got its own bar as well.
It's got its own bar in there. We're trying to get a food vendor in there as well. It just depends on space, because if we put all these posh toilets and bars and food vendors, and you go, oh, there's no room to stand. So it's kind of hard. But there's provisions put in place. Bank of America Parade starts at 12 o'clock from Lowbridge Street, does its way round Pepper Street, Colgate Street, Warburg Street, North 6th Street, Bridge Street, Lowbridge Street, goes back to the scene.
Glitter Lounge, we're having that, haven't we?
Yes, Glitter Lounge back. So 1 o'clock, the main event opens. You've got the M&S Bank main stage, which is headlined by Louise, Shane Ward, Alex Party, Kim Mazel, Bag of Chips, Cheeky Girl, Sharon Wallace, Shagger, Ella Grace, Dan Walker,
DJ
Dan Walker. There's another one. Elton John and Beyonce. I think I forgot someone. I'm so sorry.
Drop it in the comments if we've missed anyone.
I just forgot. There's normally a poster I can't see. It's around the wall. I think that's everyone. There's 13. Yeah, 13 acts. Oh, Jan George. That's the other one. So that's on. You've got the drag runway stage from Bed Student Rentals. That's back, which is full of local and national drag queens and kings. And
what have you got? Information and awareness.
Yeah, the house zone is back. It's slightly bigger this year. We had the largest in the UK. We had to drop it down in size just due to who could come and for cost. It's now been put back bigger. The runway stage is back. So that one, the glitter lounge is back. We've
support for people that are new
health, life and wellbeing. That's all there in the health tent. We've got a new tent, which is a dance zone this year. So there's a dance tent. You can go and rave in the tent.
Can you?
Youth zone as well, or Youth Pride, which is on the lower car park. The whole car park this year is Youth Pride. That's free to anyone to attend. So families can go. You'd have to get a ticket for that. If you're under 16, it's free to come on the main site, but you still need to get a ticket. And that's mainly just so we can look at capacity and stuff on who's on site, and obviously information on people. So we've got next to kin details, etc. Bars, restaurants, markets are back this year. We got rid of them last year. Feedback was people wanting them back, so we're bringing them back this year.
Is there little huts there this year?
Yes, they're back again. All the sponsor zone where you can go and speak to the sponsors, find out what they do for Pride.
And can people bring like camping chairs with them to sit
Camping
on?
chairs are fine. Sealed bottles of water are fine. Anything else, it's advised when you go on the website. There's like a list of what you can bring in. This is down to two reasons. Obviously, we don't allow alcohol in for two reasons. And the first honest one is we wouldn't make any money off it, and that's what pays for Pride. The second one is if someone got blind stinking drunk, it's on our licence, and that's on my head as the DPS of the venue. So if someone's drunk and has to get medical attention, it looks bad on Pride.
Yeah.
So we need to be able to monitor who's drinking what. And like I said, the other reason is it comes down to money. We don't make any money, and that's being honest. Some events, it's safety. It's partly for safety.
People bring food there.
You can bring certain. Yeah, you can bring food in as well. Because obviously, people have different dietary requirements that not all the vendors will cater for. We do try and make sure the stuff is free for vegan, vegetarian, celiac, that type of thing. But there's a list of things online, and the reason this list has got bigger is there was obviously laws passed since the Manchester bombings that affect every event now. We have to adhere to these laws. So when you look and think, why can't I bring I've used you can, but like a lighter, for instance, why can't I bring a lighter on site? It's down to this law. You can bring lighters for smokers and things, but just using it as a common thing that people would use. People go, why can't I bring that? It's not necessarily us being awkward. It's what's now enforced on us. And to a point, rightly so. You're at an event to watch a show.
And you want it to be as safe as possible, don't you?
Yeah, you don't need to have, a 6-inch knife or pen knife. What are you going to need that for? So these things are put in place for safety and for sensibility as well. So, but all that information goes on the website. And I'd just say, if you've not already done it, follow Chester Pride Official on Instagram or Chester Pride on Facebook. All the information is there. We don't use X or Twitter anymore. It's too toxic as a platform. There's too much hate spread. So if you are tagging us and stuff on Twitter or X,
I noticed
we don't respond to it now just because it's too toxic.
And there's chesterpride.co.uk,
where all the information obviously goes to as well. And
families are all welcome. Because I come
very much welcome.
with all my
and
I've got 7 kids and there's only 2 straight ones.
Yeah, it's a great way for families.
The protesters will love me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll be there this year as usual. But it's a great way for families to learn. And for when people go, it's rammed down your face. It's not coming along and just see. We're just the same.
I've come every year.
Yeah,
there's only I think 2 that I've missed.
Yeah, I've not missed any yet. I nearly missed
one.
We
come all together. All my kids come. My youngest
It's
son
a great
comes
family day.
now.
It's a family day out, and it's an LGBT safe space, and people that are coming up to Pride that aren't LGBT need to remember that you are going into someone else's safe space, so you will see things that you might not necessarily get. There is no such thing as a stupid question. You can ask these questions if it's done with respect
correctly,
and it's politely done. And we have a thing with pronouns, and there's a lot of people get triggered by pronouns. Wow, don't get to the point.
Well, I find that all quite confusing.
It can be. Even I, will go.
And like a fear of upsetting anyone if you get something wrong.
And do you know what? Most people that use like a they them pronoun will understand it. It's natural, and even I will do it on occasion. I will drop,
I'd just let you say name.
He, him, or she, her.
I think the name.
Yeah, I normally call everyone love or mate. But I try to address a group of people now as folks, because for if you live in Chester, guys, it's a collective term for people. It's not a gendered term.
Yeah.
So
like mates, I call male and female mate. You're right, mate.
Yeah, it's a non-gendered term, but some people go, I don't like that word.
Yeah.
Fine, you told me I won't use it, or I'll try not to use it.
I suppose it's like if someone comes up and goes, are you all right, love, or babe? Some people don't like that either. Yeah.
I've got a lot of female friends. If you go, hi, honey, they see it as degrading or it's derogatory. And I'm like, do you know what? I've never seen it. Obviously, from a male point, I've never seen it. You told me that. I won't use it. You know, I do see a few things that was, you know, you meet with your friends and we will tap the woman on the hi, you love. Don't do it to the male friends. I'm like, right, equality works both ways here. You know, let's treat each other equally and you know, the world
I don't like the whole touchy thing anyway. I'm not
a massive huggy person unless I'm drunk. Then everyone's my best friend and I'm like, I love you, but I don't drink anymore, so everyone's safe.
I don't drink anymore.
You're more likely to get verbal abuse before you get, you know, affection from me. But yeah,
I started off going to Pride, the first Pride, and I was wearing a T-shirt which said, I love my gay daughter.
Yeah.
But now my other kids have come up, but I can't wear that anymore.
An armband, I love my gay son, I love my gay...
They're all gay.
My family's gay, I love them all.
I've kept the T-shirt, but I can't wear it anymore because it doesn't refer to them all.
No, that's crazy. But just to get like a, you know, I love my, you know,
my whole gay family.
Like a tour concert T-shirt on the back. Yeah, Rainbow Mum, that'd be cool. You know, free. Oh look, yes, you're not hugging friends. You can't really do free hugs for. There was a family there last year actually that were doing that. It was a mother and father who were giving out free hugs. Their daughter had sadly passed away, and their daughter was had just come out to them and then passed away. And they went to Pride to hug all these individuals that didn't have a mum and dad, and it was the sweetest thing to see.
I know what someone said to me, it was an older guy, and he said, can I give you a hug? And I thought, hang on a minute, like, what's this about? And I was a bit like, yeah, if you must. And he said, no, he said, what it is, he said, it's your T-shirt, which at the time said, I love my gay daughter. And I said, oh, right. And he said, I just wish I'd had a parent like you. Yeah. He said, for me, you see you wearing that like means a lot to me, so I just wanted to do it. And I thought, oh wow. And he was an older guy, but I thought that was like really touching.
Yeah, and it's quite sad that people feel that way, that, you know, the parents didn't support them. You know, you always love your kid unconditionally.
Hi, Marianne.
There are certain aspects that you know, obviously they turn out to be a murderer or something, but
it's no big deal, is it? If the child comes out that they're gay,
no, I don't think it should be.
No,
it's only made a big deal.
They're still your child.
Yeah, and they're not going to change. You don't see your child's, you know, sexual habits if they were straight anyway, so you're not going to see that side anyway.
Yeah. You know, my daughter's just got engaged to her girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I just like acquired another daughter, which for me is dead exciting.
And you've got another wedding.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. It's, when people say it's ran down your throat and things, it's, you know, we just want to be able to walk down the street holding hands.
Yeah.
And we did a thing years ago, and I'd love to do it again now. We sent 2 women down the street holding hands and secretly filmed people.
Really? I think you should do it again.
Most women were like, put their nose up. Most men were like, oh, look at them.
Yeah.
We did it with 2 men, and the women were like,
oh.
The lads were like, ugh. Then we did it with a straight couple, and not one person looked. So male and female, not one person looked.
I think you should do it again.
And it was, for me, it was one of those massive moments to go, that's the society we still live in, even in Chester, which is very, very safe. Yeah. We have purple flag status in Chester, which means it's deemed a safe city to come out to. Yes, you get a little bit of trouble, as you do in every city, and unfortunately, it's only ever the bad that's ever highlighted. They don't put, you know, Chester Racecourse had 12,000 visitors and there was only 2 arrests. Yeah, they'd focus on 2 arrests were made and, you know, disaster across the street. And it's like, no, actually, 11,998 people came to Chester, enjoyed it peacefully, respectfully, and went away. We only ever focus on negativity. We don't focus on the positive.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's why I kind of say, when I get criticised for things, if there's, you know, criticism with solution, I'll listen. If it's just criticism for the sake of moaning, in one ear out the other, because the other 11,000 that came to Pride are telling us they had a great time, they enjoyed it. So, you know, and that's my one bit of advice I'd say for the new directors is, don't do what I did and take things to heart as much, because it's very hard to not do that, because you have a passion for the event, you give it everything you can, so it's kind of hard.
Should we wrap it up then and go and get a cup of tea?
Yes,
in the Rainbow Cafe?
Yeah.
So be there, Chester Pride.
Yep. 17th of August.
17th of August. And keep an eye on the website.
Yeah, and if you can come along to the Rainbow Tea Rooms, come and support us in this way, because Food's quite nice. It's quite cheap.
It's lovely, actually.
And yeah, it just
and
helps.
it's been great catching up with you.
I know it's been nice to see both of you. I only get our yearly coming to the studio normally, so it was a treat to have you here today.
So remember, sharing is caring. So share the live and keep watching the Chester Pride page.
Yes, thank you very much, and everyone have a great day.
Bye for now.